Hey everybody, Gabby here with your Battle of the Day. Sorry I'm posting this a little bit late. As you can imagine, this means that there's no stream tonight because I am just getting around to recording when I'd normally stream. But hey, that doesn't mean we won't have a good match for you today because we are facing a double Genie, Blaziken, Bisharp, Porygon 2, and Suicune team. Really kind of an interesting combination here, actually. Not really sure what to do. I know I definitely want to get Trick Room up against these guys. Without a doubt, actually. I think Trick Room is the way to go here. So, I mean, I could lead Hitmontop and fake out, or I could lead Amoonguss and go for something. I worry about not bringing Amoonguss because I do see that Suicune here, and given the fact that I'm running a rain team, I have a feeling he's probably gonna bring like Thundurus, Suicune, maybe Landorus, Porygon, either Landorus or Bisharp, and Porygon 2. So I think Hitmontop Dusclops is a good lead though, at least for starters. In the back, I definitely want to bring Metagross, and I feel like I kind of have to bring Politoed because I don't want to bring Kingdra on its own, and I really don't want to go into this without something to stop rain. So yeah, this is what we're gonna go with, and unfortunately, this does show my team's weakness, which is essentially we support Metagross. Metagross does Metagross things, and then hopefully I win the battle. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of the crux of this team. Anyways, we will see a Thundurus Bisharp lead. Bisharp is definitely going to benefit from this Intimidate thanks to its ability Defiant. If it's not Defiant, oh, there we go. I was going to say I'd be really surprised, but it is, as we have just proven. So now I kind of have this nasty catch-22. I could either fake out the Bisharp and risk being taunted, or I could go ahead and fake out the Thundurus and just, a knockoff at +1 will most likely kill Dusclops. I don't know this damage calc off the top of my head. I probably should. And I don't really have any good switches either, so Alright, I'm gonna try and Trick Room. Oh, but no, that's not... I want a Quick Guard and Close Combat at the same time. Can I do that? Alright, well, you know what? Let's go with the Quick Guard. Let's go with the attempt to Trick Room. Worst case scenario here, I lose Dusclops. Unfortunately, there's no way I could get around this, but Thundurus goes for a Psychic onto Hitmontop, revealing that it's most likely Specs, actually. Yeah, every time I've seen a Thundurus use Psychic, it's Specs. Anyway, Knockoff decimates Dusclops, so this is an easy win for him at this point. There's nothing really I can do to stop this, which is really... It's the crux of this team. I could have let Amoonguss and probably Rage Powdered. In fact, that probably would have been the better play now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect, but I forgot that Bisharp gets Defiant. It's not that I forgot. I didn't take into consideration that Bisharp gets Defiant, and I didn't take into consideration the fact that apparently this Thundurus is Specs. I don't know. I am gonna try and... Oh, why even bother playing this out? This is one of those situations where, like, everything is unfortunate. I am gonna switch out Hitmontop here, so at least I can come in and fake out something next turn and get some damage somewhere, somehow. But yeah, this is unfortunate. And knowing that Thundurus is locked into Psychic certainly helped me make that decision. Knockoff, though, will absolutely wreck Metagross, as it did Dusknoir, and it gets a crit for, you know, like, added insult to injury. Jeez, I don't think I could have played this worse, honestly. This is embarrassing. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna forfeit. I'm gonna do another battle, because this is ridiculous. This is really bad on my part, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, this is why you practice, right? It's so you don't make these terrible, awful decisions when you're in a tournament setting. Yeah, that would have been a terrible game to play in a tournament. So yeah, lessons learned from this game. play Amoonguss. Don't lead Hitmontop when there's something that can benefit from your Defiant. Or from your Intimidate. Because it has Defiant. That's what I'm trying to say there. And sometimes Rage Powder is more valuable than Fake Out. I mean, like, it's so hard to talk about that game, too. Because, like, in retrospect, if that Thundurus wasn't Specs, like, if I knew that going into Team Preview and this were a best of 3, I would actually lead the same lead, fake out the Bisharp, set up Trick Room, and then just kind of take it from there. I could burn the Bisharp the following turn to make up for lost time, and I would have known that Hitmontop would live that Psychic. I mean, granted, live and 11 HP is debatable, but Thundurus wasn't going to do anything. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it would have been better to risk the taunt. I actually don't know. I'm used to seeing double genies with Thundurus as a support option, and it's kind of weird that it's not, because his team doesn't really have anything else for Trick Room other than Decimate. So if there were to be a game 2, and I'm going to talk from both sides of the field here while I awkwardly stall for time for another matchup. If there were a game 2 and I was in my opponent's situation, I think I would lead the exact same thing on the off chance that I would do the same thing and just completely goof it up. Oh, really? Another Darmanitan after that loss? Like, you're killing me today, Battlespot. What gives? I would lead the same thing, expecting that my opponent would lead the same thing, and knowing that those two together have a pretty solid lead. I mean, we know that Thundurus was Specs. We don't know if it was carrying Taunt or not. I am making that assumption. That would be something really good to keep hidden for a game, until a game 3, actually. Gonna pause that train of thought, because I gotta transfer over to this train of thought, which is the Whimsicott Terrakion beat-up train. Guest starring Darmanitan. Why? This also isn't a matchup I want to see because, again, we have the potential for a Bisharp and Taunter lead. I mean, after I made that terrible read on the last one, I think... Oh, but no, Amoonguss... Okay, so this is like the same situation but worse because I can't Rage Powder because Whimsicott is a Grass-type Pokemon which doesn't redirect to Rage Powder now. So, -1 to Amoonguss, that mechanic was not in play in Gen 5 when this team was made, but that's not really going to help. So, this is kind of disgusting, but I think I'm going to lead Politoed Kingdra. I'm going to have Metagross in the back, and then Dusclops. I don't know what I'm doing anymore with this team. I think it definitely needs improvements. I just don't know what those are. Anyways, now that we've potentially solved this problem, we haven't, by the way. I think the next, or going back to that previous game, if there were a game 2, my lead there would have had to been faking out the Bisharp, knowing that Thundurus may or may not have Taunt, and knowing that if I were my opponent, I'd be feeling really confident in just kind of pressing the I'm going to do damage buttons again, and just pray that somehow I could get Trick Room up. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. If they were competent, and look, we actually have the same exact lead technically here. We do have the Taunter and the Bisharp. So hey, I mean, we have to worry about Whimsicott's Moonlight here, and Kingdra is not really gonna appreciate that at all. But we have the added benefit now of being able to kill the Bisharp before the Bisharp things come out to play. Or the things that don't like Bisharp come out to play. So let's learn from our mistakes. We're gonna double into the Bisharp here. Whimsicott is probably gonna go straight for the Moonblast unless it doesn't have it. This is like kind of one of those personal preference things. I know when I ran Whimsicott a long time ago, that being 2011 LCQ, I actually ran it with 0 attacks because every time someone could out-taunt me, or every time someone could taunt me, they were either slower than I was or I didn't care, quite frankly. I think a lot of Whimsicott nowadays are running Moonblast because it's a really good tech to have against dragons, and you know, usually the only dragon you see is a Hydreigon. Anyways, Bisharp gets out of there. He knows my plan. He knows my plan to destroy him, and Whimsicott goes for the Tailwind, so we know that having Trick Room here would be a good approach. Not really sure why Cresselia came in, especially given the fact that, you know, he basically has two Pokemon that are really setup heavy on the field right now, but I can do two things here. I definitely want to switch Kingdra out. It's not going to do anything good. I need to save it for that Bisharp, essentially. I can switch in Metagross or Dusclops, depending on if I want to try and set Trick Room up or not here. I think I have to set up Trick Room. It's kind of gross, because if he switches Bisharp in here again, then I will essentially be in this position where I have to make another switch or choose to potentially give up Dusclops. I'm going to hope for the best and hope for that not to happen. As for what Politoed's going to do, I think Whimsicott is the bigger threat on the field right now, because it could potentially stop me from getting Trick Room up. So I'm going to go ahead and Ice Beam it. And again, just hope for the KO. I mean, Whimsicott is not that bulky, and it goes away, so I won't have to worry about being taunted next turn because my Milotic comes in. Okay, I'll take it. I will take that. Not sure what Cresselia is going to do at this point. Probably Calm Mind. Skill swap. Okay, Cresselia skill swaps my Dusknoir. Or Dusclops, meaning I get Levitate, he gets Pressure. Not the best thing for the stall game, but hey, it's not... I have free Trick Room next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to the best of my ability and actually take advantage of the fact that it's free Trick Room to go ahead and send in Metagross, because I really need to start doing damage here. Period. End of discussion. So yeah, I could eat a Scald on the switch and possibly be burned. In fact, if that happens, I will admit it is like the gazillionth time that that's happened, and I should really learn my lesson, because it does look like Milotic is going to go for the Helping Hand Scald into the... Please be Dusclops. Okay, it's Dusclops. We're good. He does get burned, but I don't care because I have Pain Split, and this will actually increase my damage output next turn to that Milotic. If that were the Metagross slot, though, it would have been like the gazillionth time that's happened to me, and it would have been one of those things where it's like, come on, Gabby. You know better than this by now. How many times has this happened? Really? Anyways, I don't want to lock myself into Ice Punch. I don't want to lock myself into Zen Headbutt because of that Bisharp. So I am going to start Meteor Mashing, and I'm going to target Cresselia first. And I'm going to go ahead and Pain Split my Milotic. Yeah, I mean, I could have doubled into the Milotic slot here. However, we are going to see Bisharp come... Whimsicott. Surprised to see Whimsicott come in. Probably wasn't expecting me to attack the Cresselia, I guess. And Milotic protects. Which is fine, because next turn I can just Pain Split again, and Whimsicott will hopefully be dead, barring an accuracy roll. It will be dead, so I won't have to worry about being taunted. This is where we're going to see Bisharp come in, though. And if it doesn't come in, I will be really surprised, because this is like prime territory for a Sucker Punch right now. So... Yep, okay, there's Bisharp. There's like 3 turns of Trick Room left. I could potentially lose Dusclops here and go for the Will-O-Wisp onto Bisharp, and then switch out Metagross so it could come back in and maybe Earthquake or something. Or I could Pain Split on Dusclops, keep it alive longer, potentially eat Knockoff. I'm going to go ahead and assume that burning the Bisharp is going to be the better long-term sustainable move, because I don't want I don't want my team to fall apart to Bisharp right now. I really don't. Milotic, as long as Metagross is alive and it doesn't get burned, I should be able to power through and kill it before it kills me. So I'm going to go ahead and switch in Politoed into the Metagross slot, just to prevent Sucker Punch from killing Politoed before it's too late. Bisharp, however, either reads my move or not and protects. Will-O-Wisp will go into that Protect, and Milotic goes straight for the Scald into the Dusclops. Nope, into the Politoed. And does not get a burn, but Rain does stop, so I'm kind of in a tough position now because I do have to switch out Politoed again. Oh, alright. So let's go for the burn on Bisharp. You know, he's probably going to anticipate the Politoed switch, so let's actually Scald the Bisharp too. Let's just attack Bisharp, which instead becomes that Cresselia again. So definitely going to lose Dusclops this turn. But Milotic protects, so I'm not really sure what he was expecting to accomplish from this. Maybe to, I don't know, not give my Dusclops more HP. Anyways, the burn will miss, Scald will connect, and there is one turn left of Trick Room, so I will use this opportunity to Pain Split that Milotic. I'm going to go ahead and switch Metagross out. I know it could get burned on the switch, but I'm thinking longer term, I need to get Rain up so that Kingdra can deal with Bisharp successfully. These are the kind of decisions you make in Pokemon. I don't like any of them, but at least this battle is going better than the last game. And hey, this is a great example of how you can learn from your mistakes, because again, we did identify the fact that there was a heavy potential for a Taunt and Defiant lead, and we did not do the thing we did before, which was bad. So, here's your lesson of the day. Straightforward. Anyways, Politoed might be the only thing that switches this turn. It would be awesome if Milotic actually switched. But no, Cresselia will switch, so Bisharp is back in. But Dusclops will eat a large chunk of HP from that Milotic, so I am happy with that. Brings me back up to green, brings him down to middle green, and Scald will connect with maybe Dusclops. Nope, Metagross. Does not burn, though. For a second, I saw Dusclops reacting to the burn, and I was like, no, not again, not again. And yeah, if I were him here, I would be expecting the Trick Room again. But I'm actually not gonna do that because I want to get Rain up and Kingdra. I don't think I can stall this game for another 5 turns, and I'm gonna prioritize the fact that Kingdra is so freaking fast and that I can do enough damage that way to everything on the field. So I'm just gonna kind of throw away Dusclops here. I mean, it's unfortunate. If I'm lucky, I'll burn that Bisharp and everything will be better than I'm expecting, but realistically here, I'm expecting him to either double into Bisharp or Scald the Politoed and knock off my Bisharp. Scald gets another burn, and Knockoff will connect with Dusclops, so I'm probably definitely dead. But now I can send in Kingdra and at least have that. And Bisharp reveals its Life Orb, which is really great because Sash honestly probably would have won him this game because I would have had to hit the Bisharp twice in order to do any sort of significant damage to it. But it doesn't have Sash, it has Life Orb, which means I can Helping Hand Muddy Water here, and provided Muddy Water does connect with that Bisharp, it'll be dead. So it is a damage roll. If I wanted to play this a little bit safer, I could go for the Protect and then Disable next turn if I was worried about a Sucker Punch. But I need to be aggressive right now. I really do. And if he does switch in Cresselia here to try and absorb the impending Muddy Water attack, which is exactly what he does, I think Helping Hand Muddy Water, again, provided it connects, has the best potential damage output here. And I know that Scald will not one-hit KO Milotic. Unfortunately for me, though, Muddy Water does miss the Cresselia. Milotic goes for Recover, actually, so this is ugly, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we're probably going to see Helping Hand and then an attack from Milotic here. If I wanted to try and read that, I could Protect on Kingdra and then go for Scald onto that Cresselia and then try and kill it next turn. But I need to... Another thing I could do would be Helping Hand Draco Meteor, but there's no way that would kill the Milotic. I'd have to do that next turn. and hope that Scald does a insignificant amount of damage. So, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. This is just terrible. Like, I mean, if Muddy Water would have hit that Cresselia there and killed it, then at least, like, Bisharp would be back on the field, and I would know that I outsped it. Anyways, Scald doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does at least burn that Milotic, which looks like it puts it in range for Helping Hand Draco Meteor. So that's what I'm going to do this turn. And just hope for the best. This is terrible. Milotic is so bulky. It's so bulky. It's... Ugh. I really need, like, Amoonguss to help with this matchup, but unfortunately Amoonguss is weak to Cresselia. Like, Psychic is probably a 2 or 3 hit KO on it or something. Anyways, thankfully Draco Meteor connects and gets the KO. Milotic does faint, so I can send in Metagross next turn, and just as long as this doesn't happen. New plan. Kingdra loses Swift Swim, Cresselia gains it, I gain Levitate. I am now a floating Kingdra. If anybody can explain how that works, it would be great. The only benefit from this that I can see right now is the fact that Kingdra's not floating anymore, which means I can Earthquake when Metagross comes in. So... Alright. I still think Kingdra is the bigger threat here. And since I've already lost my speed advantage, losing Rain is not gonna... Well, I'm -2. So I'm gonna make the assumption that I'm now slower than Bisharp. I'm gonna attempt to disable whatever dark type of move it's gonna pick to do this turn, because we know that's what it's gonna do. And I'm gonna go ahead and Scald into the Bisharp. Unfortunately, Bisharp protects. So Cresselia's Psychic will connect with Politoed, probably trying to pick up the easy KO. Thankfully, I'll live with like a little bit of damage. So there's that, and then Rain goes away. But again, at this point, Rain wasn't really helping me that much anyways. Thankfully, though, Politoed lives with enough HP to maybe attack again, or at least prevent Cresselia from double targeting into Kingdra. So yeah, if I don't get attacked here, I want to Scald Bisharp. If I do get attacked here, I'm just gonna die. I still want to go for the Disable onto that Bisharp. I think the Disable is enough of a threat, knowing that I have Metagross in the back, to maybe double target Kingdra. I mean, Politoed's gonna die this turn no matter what. So I'm hoping that Scald Burn will help. Anyways, Bisharp goes, or Cresselia goes for Helping Hand. Bisharp's probably gonna knock off. I disabled Bisharp's Protect because I'm still faster, which is not what I wanted at all. Helping Hand knockoff will get the KO on Kingdra. Crap. My only hope here is that Scald either somehow KOs that Bisharp or gets a burn. Ugh. This is so stressful. Alright, no burn. So, yep. Good. This is another good game. Bisharp is a huge problem on this team still. I don't know what to say about this one, honestly. I felt like I made all the right decisions. I mean, yeah, I did make a mistake there assuming that Kingdra was going to be slower than Bisharp, especially since I lost Swift Swim. And I should have probably protected there again so that I knew I would have disabled the knockoff as opposed to the protect. Anyways, Bisharp goes for Sucker Punch instead of knockoff, but it still gets the KO thanks to Helping Hand. So, 2 losses today. That's just really frustrating, honestly. 2 losses to Bisharp in a row signals to me that I really need to kind of look at this team and probably come up with a better Bisharp counter than Hitmontop. And to be 100% honest, I was debating swapping out Hitmontop for Terrakion just because or Conkeldurr if I really wanted to go hard Trick Room. Or Hariyama even would have been better. So I think that out of all of my available options, Hariyama is probably the best choice. So look forward to that tomorrow because, you know, it gives me Fake Out, it gives me Close Combat, and it's the best I got. And Intimidate just isn't helping this team at all. So hey, if you are a fan of self-improvement, Please press that like video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna try and get caught up with comments over Thanksgiving. I'm sorry that I've been falling behind on them. I just kind of stopped having time to look at them, and I haven't had a chance to catch up, but I do read them as I get the notifications, so thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Again, no stream this week. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Watch Pikachu in the parade if that's your thing. It's my thing. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a Hariyama battle of the day. See ya, everybody. Bye.